joining me. It's week 2 of the Skin, Gut and Body experiment. And what a week it's been. 1 week down. I've got lots to share. So obviously, just to give a recap for the people that are just joining us, I am doing a 9-week full body skin and gut transformation. It's where I'm going in and actually healing my gut from the inside. So over the last 6 months, I've lost my way, and unfortunately, I haven't been making great food choices, and I have definitely had repercussion of that. My skin has been inflamed, but not only that, I've had brain fog, I've been tired, and this is just a great experiment for me to learn how to heal my gut, but along the way share all the information that I'm learning. So obviously it's been a very eventful week. As you can imagine, going off coffee, all processed foods, processed carbohydrates, alcohol, not that I drink very often, but alcohol and sugar. The first 5 days were very, very interesting. So I had a lot of I actually was dreaming about ice cream one night. I was very tired and I had a massive headaches. But on Saturday, the cloud lifted and I actually started to feel amazing. And if this is how it feels to have those things out of your body, let me tell you, this is where I'm definitely going to be staying, because it was definitely worth those 5 days of pain. I have really missed my coffees. I've definitely been a couple of coffees, little piccolos that I have every day for the last few years. I've become very reliant on those, and little sugar fixes throughout the day when I am feeling tired. But I can't believe the amount of energy that I've got, and it's just been phenomenal. You know, as I go through this experiment, learning a lot. Obviously, we're focused on not only gut health, but my skin, and obviously full body transformation, and my food choices. So I'm actually documenting everything that I'm eating, drinking, all my supplements that I'm taking, and just documenting everything that I'm feeling, the differences that I'm feeling. But we've also got lots of tests that we've done along the way. Obviously my skin tests, my body tests, so it's going to be a very interesting experiment. So week 1 is down, I'm on to week 2, and I have to say I've been a little bit surprised. I always thought our skin industry was very misleading, but let me tell you, once you start to look at food, it is extremely misleading. So in this experiment, I am eating it is not a diet. There's so many diets out there and you're just not sure what to do. This is not a diet by all means. I am just eating whole foods. Foods that are going to give me the nutrients and the nutrition that I need for my body to function properly. So the biggest thing is realizing how important the gut actually is and how it actually controls basically our all over health and well-being. I mean, it controls how we feel, how we think, our weight, our immunity. It controls the nutrients that we're able to absorb. Because obviously if your gut is not in the majority of essential bacteria, your body's not going to be able to actually absorb the nutrients that it needs for you to be able to function properly. So an average adult actually carries 2 kilos of bacteria. It blew my mind when I found out that. It actually has 100 different species with 300 different genes. So I think you'd agree the gut is pretty important. So how do we get our gut microbiome? So when it goes back to when we actually go through the birth canal. So when we come through the birth canal, our mother's bacteria actually comes into our mouth, which actually forms our microbiota. And when we talk about that, it's the bacteria. And when we talk about microbiome, it's actually the genes. So isn't that amazing? Our gut microbiome starts going through the birth canal, as I said before. Another amazing, so obviously how healthy the mother is how healthy the gut microbiome is going to be. You're sort of coated with it. Another form of like a pre and probiotic is obviously the mother's breast milk. This also works on, you know, rebuilding those bacteria in that baby's little belly. So as you would agree, there's so many different little interesting facts. Something else that I've learned is that the gut has its own little nervous system and has neurotransmitters that go from gut to brain. So you know, when you do get that gut feeling, it's always going to be right, because it's your second brain down here. So obviously with me last week, when I had all those cravings for that food, it was a telltale sign that my microbiome or my gut health was definitely not where it was meant to be. And if you are experiencing cravings, it is generally a sign that unfortunately your gut health needs some attention. So gut to brain, and it really does control. I mean, Australia is the #1 taker of antidepressants now, and unfortunately when doctors, and the diet part of it has been overlooked, but when doctors are really now starting to pay attention to the diet, and a lot of the time they do find that it's high sugar, processed foods, carbohydrates, just not eating the right things. So it's just so important that we really, really start to be mindful of what goes into our body and the effect that it actually has. Not only does the gut to brain have neurotransmitters, we've actually got exactly the same thing with our skin. So we've got our own little microbiome beta, here on the surface of our skin. And obviously how well we're absorbing our nutrients down here is how well our skin's going to look. As the saying goes, you are what you eat, and I did refer to that last week. So there is a few things that do upset the skin microbiome, and that is obviously using things that are not skin compatible, but also long-term medications, also hormonal changes. All these things contribute to how our skin looks. But if we can take care of our gut and make sure that we've got those essential bacteria in the majority, we will see a massive difference. Back to skin, with a rise in the inflammatory skin conditions such as eczema, dermatitis, acne, psoriasis, rosacea, all these things that we're seeing, generally we know that the bacteria in the belly is not in the good bacteria in the majority, or the microbiomes in the belly. So obviously this is, diet, or what you're eating really, really plays a key role on actually how your skin looks, to stop that inflammation. We see most skins that we see come through the door have definitely got inflammation. So some of the things that I've done this week to help start to heal my gut is I've started to drink bones broth. And what this is going to do is heal the lining in my gut. And the great thing about this drink is I was really scared to have it. So you can actually do your own. There's lots of recipes out there. And it's just a lovely drink that I've had twice a day. And what that does is it starts to repair the lining in my gut. I've also had my pre and probiotics. I've been drinking lots of herbal teas. As I said before, I've had nothing but whole foods. I have my pre and probiotics, and then I've also been taking some supplements as well, which I've been sharing on my Facebook and Instagram. So I've also had a skin treatment this week. I had an LED, which was absolutely beautiful. And this works at a cellular level, where we're stimulating and encouraging new cells and cellular communication. My skin's feeling so much better already. But I look forward to definitely sharing the continued journey. I've got my last week meal plan that I've actually eaten. I've documented everything, and we're going to release that. So if anybody really wants to jump on board, feel free to do that. I actually made some beautiful bread yesterday that's gluten-free, and it's just full of seeds, nuts, and eggs, and it was so lovely. So if anybody wants that recipe, please reach out. But I really look forward to continuing my journey and learning as much as I can on how making sure we have a healthy gut, and making sure I'm using the correct skincare and really taking care of myself at a personal level is going to show results in now 8 weeks' time. I'm Rebecca Miller, the Skin Whisperer.